Closer and closer comes the artist's hand to a canvas covered in red. She's having thoughts of him. And she paints a picture of a pale blue heart with flowers in the veins. They blossom in his cold. Does anybody ever get you right? Does anybody ever win your fight? I don't know. How could I ever know? So come out of the darkness. Come out where the lights can see your face. Come back from the heartless. Collect your flowers from the shade. My love, you know I love you like the stars. And gravity can only pull you away so far. So don't you tell me you don't miss the sun. Yeah. Caged and collided, she confided in every shade of him each day. He felt alright. Yellow pale brown eyes, and her flowers blossomed in this cold dark room where nothing ever grew. They felt the sun. But does anybody ever get this right? Does anybody ever win your fight? I don't know. How could I ever know? So come out of the darkness. Come out where the lights can see your face. Come back from the heartless. Collect your flowers from the shade. My love, you know I love you like the stars. And gravity can only pull you away so far. So don't you tell me you don't miss the sign. Where does it feel when you came out of the darkness and held those flowers in your hands? And tell me, yes, won't you tell me? Don't you know you're never really alone? You're coming home. Yes, you're coming home. And you're not alone. No, you're not alone. Well, how about that? That was my cousin Brady Shaw, Joe Shaw's little boy, and quite talented. And if you're listening, or anybody's listening for Brady, I'm running out of videos, so get busy, make us a couple more. I think I have one or more. I like Brady's videos because they're not copyrighted, and yeah, I've already got a copyright strike for playing Frank Sinatra. Anyway, how goes it today? I see a new person out in the audience, Henry Miller, who I think AKA is Robert Kumpel, my half brother. So welcome to the show, Robert. if that's you or Henry. So it doesn't look like a lot of people come on yet. It's probably a quiet day. So how's it going out there on Tuesday, 4/14, day XXX of the sequester? Any comments? Anyone like to? I dropped the link to the panel if someone would like to come up on here and take me off the hook. That's always welcome. Beautiful day up here in Crescent City. A beautiful spring day. It's warm, sunny. I don't know if you can hear, there's lawnmowers in my neighborhood going on right now, so it's probably a good time to cut the grass. I got my window open so you can see my green screen kind of blowing a little bit there over on one of the sides of me. But that cool breeze sure feels nice today. So, well, it's going to be a long show if we only got a couple of people on here. Any topics? Any questions? Any questions or topics? Yeah, Robert, I agree. I'm kind of California born and raised. I lived in New York, Oregon. I'm all over California, and I'm a California boy at heart. I happen to live in one of the best places in California, I believe. Northern California is actually, it's got a lot. It's different. It's different from the rest. I think we have 13,000 people in the whole county. It's really small. It's beautiful, right on the ocean, right on the Oregon border. And how to install aluminum siding? That's there'll be someone probably popping on here. There's a lot of handy fellows in our family, and I know that some of them could answer that question. It turns out that's not me. My go-to phone call is to David Dietz. He usually comes on here every day. David Dietz is an awesome contractor based down in Huntington Beach, California. And he's very gracious on giving me tips. So I pretty much do everything around this house, and which usually involves a phone call and a lot of time on the phone with David. Yes. So it looks like a slow day today. We only got a couple people watching. Maybe it'll be a short show, which is fine with me. Yesterday was such a treat. We did, I don't know how many. Well, there's only 2 people watching, so it's not a big difference. Robert was Amelia's father, who was on yesterday, and boy, that lady was impressive. That's for sure. I hope, Robert, if you got a chance to see it, I hope it was okay. I hope. Actually, I was a little bit intimidated by her. I didn't really know what to ask. She was. Yeah, I was a little intimidated. Actually, I did a little brush up on some of the people she spoke of. I didn't want to be sound very so ignorant the next time I talked to her. Maybe I could have a conversation. Is what I'm hoping. But interesting stuff, especially the Austrian guy, the guy she's reading about now. I watched quite a bit about him today. I hope my sound levels. That's one thing I can't. I don't know what they're like until someone tells me. They're usually probably too loud. Well, we got 3 people. We got 3 people. Robert, what'd you think of that show yesterday? I'm almost scared to ask, but it is what it is kind of show. That's the best I can tell you. And hopefully someone will get some other characters to come on. And there's my mom now. She still hasn't got it quite figured out yet. She's trying to call me on Facebook, and that's not how we do it. So I'm going to decline that phone call, and hopefully she'll figure this out. She was on here yesterday, actually. She was actually on here for a little bit before Amelia came on. So I was told the silence is a ratings killer. So I don't have a lot more to say. So what's going on? Somebody come on up. No, Amelia is special, and hopefully she'll come on again. I think she's kind of fascinating. She comes from a different world. Yeah, she absolutely. You give her a subject and she seems to she runs with it, and runs with it nicely. And from what I understand, hey David Dietz, we had a question. You probably see it about aluminum siding. Maybe you'll help us out a little bit. But yeah, he's a go-to guy for me, anyways. She's the go-to guy for me. 4 people watching. We're building the numbers. We're gaining momentum. We're gaining some momentum. And Robert, from what I understand, is I think you should be proud in this way. I think she was homeschooled a lot until she went off to college, and you did some good things with her because she's definitely absorbs knowledge. Hey Maggie, good to see you. Good to see you. For the new people coming in the chat, there's a new presence. Henry Miller is actually my brother Robert, and he's in Georgia. We're kind of an international show. I like to say that we get regular viewers from Puerto Rico and Scotland. We've had some from Vietnam, Mexico, and Thailand, which is pretty amazing for a show that usually about 8 or 10 people are watching. So we're quite the international show. What's cool, Maggie? Did you ever get your new products packaged up or bottled? You got anything you want to show us when you're going to launch your new products? Oh, I guess you were joking about the aluminum siding. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell jokes from text. Just sometimes the humor goes right over your head. Maggie, get on that. No, I don't blame you, Henry. Now, okay. I'll call you Henry from now on. Then is that we'll have that understanding. Yeah, a lot of people. Facebook is an interesting place. You can literally type in. In fact, it's easy to check out. If you just type a text with a product in it, you'll start getting the ads. Or sometimes just talking about a product, or I need to find a new TV, or I'm looking for a new computer. And I'll be darned, not 10, 15 minutes later, you'll start seeing ads pop up about computers and TVs. It's a little spooky. We live in a spooky kind of age with information. They definitely like it. You're stuck in the desert, Maggie. And is that where and all's there stuff in Huntington Beach? I'm guessing. Another thing, Henry, it's about a. Okay, Robert. I'll call you Robert. One little awkward thing, when I say something, you don't see it for about 10 or 15, 20 seconds. And then if you type something in, I might not see it for another 5 or 10 seconds. So there is quite a bit of delay built into this whole system. But welcome. You missed out. Only a couple people saw today's video of Brady Shaw, one of his music videos, quite a talented young man. And we need to get on him to make some more because I'm running out of them. And for those, I'm using another backdrop of my past. I'm back at 1 Mile in Chico, California, which is a city pool that a creek feeds. Yes, there is quite a time delay. In fact, let's do a little scientific test. I love to do scientific tests. Yeah, that's 1 Mile. Hey, good to see you, Ray. Good to see you, Ray, in the house. Yeah, because I'm looking at 2 screens at once. I'd see the StreamYard one, and then I see the one on Facebook, and there's a huge delay. Let's do a little test. Someone help me. I'm going to say, when I say go, type in a number so I can feel the delay. Go. Hang on there, Robert. I'll let you right up in here. You're looking like a hippie. Yeah, because I'm looking at 2 screens at once. What you're going to have to do is you're going to have to. And then I see the one on Facebook, and there's. You're probably going to have to turn off Facebook. Someone help me. I'm going to say, when I say go, type in a number so I can feel the delay. Go. Hey, Robert. You on there, Robert? I'll let you right up in here. You're looking like a hippie.
Yeah, my hair hasn't been this long since I've been in high school.
Oh. What you're going to have to do is you can't really listen to this on another, like if Facebook is running, there'll be this huge delay that I'm hearing. Are you on Facebook on another channel?
No, I'm on StreamYard.com.
Okay, because I'm hearing some feedback come back through, and
I haven't been this long since I've been in high school.
we can do it.
What you're going to have to do is,
Are you hearing a delay?
there'll be this huge delay.
If you have a pair of headphones, sometimes that helps, because what's happening is
No, I'm on StreamYard.com.
yeah.
I'm hearing some feedback come back through.
Yeah, we gotta somehow. So hold on here. I'm gonna mute you for now because it's a little awkward. Just hang on a second. There's a new link. Can you hear me, Robert? Okay, I muted you because there's that delayed feedback, and it usually happens if you're watching it like on Facebook and StreamYard at the same time. And yeah, and what you have to do is you have to turn off Facebook, and then you'll be okay. You're looking pretty dapper there, young man. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, let's give this another try. Much better.
Yes.
Much better.
Yeah.
You're looking dapper there.
Really? Well, I don't know what the definition of dapper is in your part of the country, but I'm just my usual sloppy self.
You said your hair's really long right now?
For me, my hair hasn't been this long since I've been in high school.
Yeah, my excuse is my barber doesn't they don't open their doors anymore, but yeah, I'm a little shaggy myself right now. So what's going on in Georgia? You guys all in lockdown there? What's the feeling? What's
I don't think it's quite as extreme as California, but the governor of the state has ordered everybody to more or less stay at home except for essential reasons. So I go to the store every day just to get out. Nothing else, walking around Sam's Club gives me something interesting to do. I keep hoping that I'll walk in there when they have bleach. I forgot what a bottle of bleach looks like, and that's about it.
No, I don't understand the psychology of the toilet paper going first, but it's still up here. It's really there hasn't been a whole lot of change in this part of California. People are starting to wear masks a lot more, but my life hasn't changed. Luckily, hasn't changed a whole lot. But yeah, toilet paper and I think bleach might be a little tricky to get right now.
It's fun to wear one of these when you're walking around in a store. I told the checkout lady the other day, give me all your small bills, and she looked at me funny. I said, I'm joking. So.
No, this is yeah. When else can you go up to a bank teller with a mask on?
Really? Yeah. Didn't think about that.
Have to shop Costco, Robert. Maggie, I don't know what that means. Can you read the chat, by the way, while you're on here?
No, I'm not seeing anything yet.
Are you on what's your platform? A phone?
I'm on StreamYard.
On a PC? On a laptop? Or what you working on?
An iMac.
Oh, okay. You're a Mac guy. You're an Apple guy. I gotcha. Jennifer Pierce asked me to show us the map.
To what?
My map. I think she wants to see my map. It's something I'm kind of proud of, Robert. Can I show you?
I think I saw that on one of your previous ones. Is that your COVID map?
Nope. But so you've actually delved in and watched these. Now I'm a little embarrassed.
I've watched a couple of them, just little bits and pieces.
Yeah. Oh, let me show it real quick. Since Jennifer Pierce, I'm assuming you want to see this, and it's something I'm kind of proud of. So give me a second here while I dig up my map and put it on and see. Here's my map, Robert.
Night and morning, low clouds and fog. Otherwise, afternoon clear, mostly sunny with afternoon clearing.
What that map is I developed a product in my garage.
Is this your fertilizer?
Green Bicycles fertilizer, and I sell it on Amazon. So those are all the places I sell it to.
Oh.
And I'm proud because I don't advertise. So isn't that kind of cool? You got to get kind of cool.
You can do that if you can get that many customers without advertising. That's something.
That's word of mouth up there. Kind of cool, huh?
Yeah, but I'm surprised you don't have anybody in Nebraska.
No, there's some parts of the country where I just don't sell. Yeah, Nebraska, some of the South is pretty barren. Georgia, I have a few sales in Georgia. Florida's picking up. Oklahoma's really big. Michigan and Maine and Massachusetts are big states too. So yeah, that's what I'm proud of. I'll get rid of that because I feel like I'm bragging a little bit too much.
No, I was wondering if maybe those were all the people that tuned into your show.
No, we get about 6 or 7 people on the show, so I would go broke if that was the case. Let me pick something else here. I'll pick my backyard. I like my backyard. That's my backyard.
Yeah, the closest I've been to Crescent City is I drove up in through Redwood National Forest the one time I was that far north, and we started going inland, and I remember going through something of a village, and I thought I could get lost in this. It just seems to go on forever, and we turned around and headed back to Arcata.
Oh, so you went north of Arcata.
But I lived in California my whole life, and the furthest north I'd ever go would be San Francisco. My dad would take me up there every year on a business trip. And when I finally got to see the northernmost part of the state, I was over 40 years old, and I felt cheated because that's really the most beautiful part of the state.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Yeah, I found a really place that I love. I have a little acre that has a lot of trees. I have a few 200-foot Douglas firs, planted a few hundred more trees. Have ducks, chickens, a peacock, dogs, a cat. So that's kind of my world, which is sad in some ways, but I'm adequate for me.
I think a lot of people might envy the solitude that you have, considering what's happened with the rest of the world.
Yeah, and it hasn't bothered me a whole lot. We got a question for you from the chat. Is what's fun to do in Georgia?
Drive out of state.
I hear you're working in Florida now. You're pretty close to the border, right?
Yeah, I live 15 miles north of the Florida state line, and I got hired by 3 different school districts this summer, and within a week after getting hired by all of them, they called me back and rescinded my offers. So I went to Florida, and they seemed like they were more than happy to get me down there. It's right across the state line. It's about 40-minute drive every day.
Are schools in session?
No, I'm sitting at home all the time. My students are doing some electronic stuff, and I just have to monitor what they're doing and call them once a week and make sure they're doing okay. And tomorrow I have an online meeting like this with my principal, and we do that once a week, and that's about it.
That's easy. So our mom said, "Hi, sons." She's watching. Janice is watching. I think Maggie, my cousin Maggie, she lived in St. Augustine, Florida, I believe.
Yeah, that's kind of a nice little place. That's actually probably the oldest city in North America.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Jennifer, hello. I might shout out to people as I see them come into the stream. I don't know. You've met a few people in our family, I'm sure, but there's quite a group. It's quite a clan. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you've got an extensive family tree. When I signed up on Ancestry.com, 99.9% of everything I saw in there was from your side of the family.
Really? What surprised me from that, and I think I spoke of this recently, is I did Ancestry also, and we always had a story in the family that we had Osage Indian in us, and it turns out I have zero Indian in me, and it's mostly for me it's Irish and English is pretty much my whole 9 yards from what I saw. Hello, Kurt and Dennis. You know Kurt, I believe, because actually when I met I think I met you one time, correct? Not more than, no, maybe twice. I think I might have met you in San Diego at your house.
In Oceanside.
And did I ever see you down in San Diego at your house?
I don't think so, but I know I saw you at least once or twice in Oceanside, and I believe I met Kurt too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he was there. He was there the same day, and he still lives down there in San Diego. I think he's getting ready to do a trip up into Nevada. I think it is.
Why does no one else show their face?
They're probably a little. I don't. You know what? Not everybody does. Hey, Kathy. That's a good question. I'll drop the link, and someone else sure can, because they get a little bored with me real fast, which I don't blame them.
How did you get the idea of doing this online nightly roundup show that you're doing?
Oh, that's a good question. Originally, when this first thing started, I put a post on Facebook because I'm bored myself, and I knew this technology was out there. I've been playing around a little bit, and I wanted to do some kind of classroom or some kind of science projects or experiments or math, or do a math for students while they're at home. And it turns out there's that wheel's already been invented, and there's a lot better systems out there already set up. So, and it would have been a ton of work. I tried to get some other teachers involved, and they seemed interested, and then it didn't pan out. So I felt a little obligated. So I just got on here to see what would happen. Originally, actually, to answer homework problems, and it evolved into pretty much. It was originally on my channel, which has a lot of ex-students, people I work with, but it kind of evolved to mostly family. And so then I created this channel, Isabel, who's your grandma, who's actually the matriarch of the whole 9 yards, I guess I should say. So we all used to meet at her house, in Chico, and it was like the gathering place in the evening. So I kind of named it a page after her. I hope everyone's okay with it, and it's kind of a place to do this, and again, it's family centric. Anyone can come on who would like to. And actually, we have another guest coming up here, Maggie she's out in the desert right now. Hey, Maggie.
Hi, all.
Good picture, good sound.
I didn't want Robert to be alone.
Thank you.
What part of the desert do you live in?
India.
India, okay. So you're not too far from Highway 74 then.
Yeah.
You're
Beautiful day out here. Nice.
what's Dan doing today?
He went home to get some more stuff. He had to go home and pick up some more supplies. He wants to stay out here for another 3 or 4 days.
So he went back home to Huntington Beach?
Yes.
How's the traffic? Is the traffic still way settled down there?
Nobody's out. It's wonderful. It's like the good old days.
Like the good old days. I don't even remember the good old days. Jennifer Pierce, hello. Kathy, hello. People are telling Maggie she looks beautiful, so I just want to relay that message.
I just woke up from a nap. I got nothing, no makeup on, no nothing. Sorry, I just came on to say hi to Robert.
Well, good. I thank you. I did. I see my Aunt Terry came on here. Hi, Aunt Terry. Go on. She's going out for a walk. She'll be back. Oh, we got Maggie's husband. So who do I see in the background there, Robert?
That's my daughter. That's my youngest daughter, Lucy. If you can see her in the doorway.
We'll have to get a little. We'll have to say hi to Lucy.
Lucy, come here.
Oh, look it. There's my husband. He's
Lucy, this is my half brother, Patrick.
Hi, Lucy. I'm kind of your uncle. I know.
Yeah, that's right. He's your uncle. Yeah.
That
Right.
I know it's tough to swallow, but it's not that bad. Well, that's Lucy. You'll have to show the other ones. Danny Wells came on. He's Maggie's husband. It looks like he's on the road.
Can you hear me?
Is this safe, what you're doing?
I'm hands-free.
Wow.
I'm not looking at you. Robert, it's nice to meet you. I'm Maggie's husband. And we have a house in the desert and also down at the beach. And we're real close to the 74 where it comes down to the 111. A few miles out towards Indio, but it's a place for us to escape.
I always think of that highway when the other night I was thinking of it because I was watching It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, and they shot the first part of that film off Highway 74.
As it's going up the mountain there?
Yeah, except they were going down.
Yeah, there was, we went up there Easter morning. I took Maggie out to go get some fresh air and just to enjoy the view. And it seemed like it was motorcycles and sports cars day out because it was just lined with hauling butt up that road.
I like that shirt. One of my shirts. I gotta get you. I'll have to send you a shirt, Robert.
Oh, is that an advertisement for your company?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
yeah. So technically, I do some advertising, but it's T-shirts. And most of them go to my family.
I guess you'd call that promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robert, I just wanted to say, while I'm still on here, that we all enjoyed your daughter on here yesterday as well.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where she got all that brain power from. She sure as heck didn't get it from me.
I was wondering where she got the good looks from because it wasn't from Smitty, so I figured it must be maybe from her mom's side of the family or something. I don't know, but it was. We were all kind of in awe of her. She's a very intelligent girl. Sounds like she's on her way to be a very successful person.
Yeah, I'm in awe of her. I mean, she's when I dropped her off in North Dakota to go to college 5 years ago, I felt like I was abandoning my child, and but she was determined to go through with it. And I would have never had the guts to do what she did and the way she went about it.
And that's something I have found out in the females especially, and there's some males in Patrick's family, because I'm not blood, I'm an in-law, but the females are so self-driven and very, I'm not going to say stubborn, but they know what they want, they do what they want, and it's kind of been a blessing for me. My daughter's the same way too. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of her. All I can tell you is don't get in an argument with her because you'll lose.
No, I think we already figured that part out just by her telling us what she's doing. She's a smart girl.
Yeah,
she is. I told her a story yesterday, and I want to verify with you because I don't know if we ever talked about this. But you and I both went to San Diego State at the same time, I imagine, right?
probably. Yeah, I attended there from 1979 through 1982, and that 82 is when I graduated.
Okay, I started there in 81 or 82. I can't remember one of those. So we had a slight overlap. I did the 7 or 8 year plan.
Yeah.
So I was there a while.
So I think 80% of the students there are on the 7 or 8 year plan. It's a commuter campus.
Yes, it is.
So
In fact, I lived all over San Diego when I went there.
We're interrupting.
You were crossing paths and half brothers and didn't even know it.
That's right. I didn't know you existed until I was deep into my 30s.
Yeah, I didn't know a lot of people existed until I got wind of this, and then Ancestry has opened up even more rabbit holes for me to go crawling down, and it's very interesting. I've got letters that I sent out this weekend to 2 different people who might be half brothers of mine on another side, and it's like I don't know if I'm going to hear back from them or not. I tried phone calls and emails and stuff, and I'm not reaching anybody, so it's weird.
Well, that's interesting. Go ahead, Danny Wells.
I'm in a similar situation myself with my life, Robert. I'm also adopted, and I just have recently found my biological parents, who they were. By the time I found out who my biological mother was, she had already passed away. But I did get to meet my half-sister and half-brother, who also has died recently, but I did get to meet him, and I feel very blessed that I got to be able to have a little bit of, I wouldn't say closure, but to find out some of the things that I've always been wondering all my life. I don't know how long you knew of, having another brother somewhere. I know Smitty, he didn't know until, just before you guys met. But I always knew I was adopted, and I always had that yearning of finding out where I came from. And one of the main things that I learned through all of this is that I am definitely more a product of environment than I am of, say, my genes. and which
Yeah.
I'm very proud of, to be honest with you. But
I think
I also feel very proud of the people that I met on my biological side, knowing that, I do have other family out there and getting to know them and the type of people they are too.
well, most of the family on the side that raised me, they're all gone now, except for one or two relatives. So, but I'd have to agree with you. That probably had more influence on me than anything. But I think anybody who's adopted grows up with this curiosity about where you come from. And my parents never made any attempt to hide from me that I was adopted. And I think they had a good reason. They said we want you to know that we went to a lot of trouble to get you and that you were wanted.
Right, chosen. You were chosen.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I've always felt that way too. And I don't think I could have been adopted by two more loving, giving people. And till the day I die, that's my mom and dad. Regardless, I have a biological mother and I have a biological father, but my mom and dad is my mom and dad. And it's been an experience. I wouldn't say life-changing, but it opened my eyes, to some of the things that I've always thought about through the years of who really am I? And come to find out, I knew who I was. I was my mom and dad's son. But I also feel very connected and blessed to have the biological side and just expanding my family. And
well, actually, for me, the biggest shock has been the Ancestry.com DNA readout, because I was always told I was German, and I do have German blood, but like Patrick, I'm mostly a Celtic mongrel. I mean, it's all English, Irish, Scot, or about 40% of it is.
Right. Yeah. That Ancestry.com. That's how I ended up finding my biological father through all this. It was actually Patrick's other cousin, Maggie's sister Susie, who she figured that one out for me. And 2 years later, I ended up getting to meet him. And thankfully, I met him when I did. Within, I would say, 9 months, he passed away himself. But I was able to meet him and spend a little time with him and spoke with him. And, meeting him changed a lot of thinking in my head about my biological father and my biological mother. I always felt sorry for what my mother had to go through. And I thought, what a piece of crap the biological father was for walking out. But after I met him and I found out what really went down, he never knew I existed. Until I popped up and on Facebook, and it was through Facebook I sent him a message. But I'm so glad that I got to change that feeling in my heart and in my mind that my biological father was actually a good guy. And I think if he would have known, he would have done everything possible to make sure that I wasn't adopted. But he never knew that my biological mother was pregnant. In fact, I'm referred to as the mistake by the lake.
Well, with what I've learned from the people I've talked to on the other side, my biological father definitely was not a good guy, but that's okay. I mean, I can live with that.
So Jennifer, so what do you know about your biological father, if you don't mind me asking?
Me?
Are you talking to
Yeah, Robert.
Patrick, are you talking to me?
I know all about your biological father, Jennifer, pretty well.
So why did you ask me the question?
I'm going to get off the panel. My audio is going out, but I'm going to listen in.
Okay, thank you, Danny Wills. That was a nice story. Appreciate it.
Nice meeting you.
Danny Wells is a great guy. What's up, Jennifer?
Oh, nothing. I'm just trying to get into the link, and now I can get into the link, but I can't see any of the comments.
Oh, okay. Nothing. I'll relay anything directed at you. How about that?
Sounds perfect.
Kathy said hi, Jen.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, everybody.
Jennifer lives out in the Indio area. And did you ever meet my half brother Robert?
No, I haven't, but I've heard a lot about him. I loved your daughter yesterday. She was amazing, Robert.
Yeah, Yeah, I'm amazed every time I look at her.
You have to be so proud.
Yeah, she's a challenge.
And let's clarify that. Go on.
I have to watch what I say when I'm around her because she takes me to task for everything that I say.
Like what? Let's
Well,
hear
make
the
some sort of
dirt.
casual joke. She will remind me of how insensitive I'm being about some sort of issue or something like that. I just have to be careful. That's all.
What kind of issues? Are you guys on two different political
Hey,
aspects?
Jennifer. No, sorry.
Okay, sorry.
I'll mute
I'm
you
sorry.
really quick.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry, Robert.
Let's just say that there's an endless supply of things for people to disagree about sometimes, or for me to sometimes just casually be insensitive about. Then maybe I ought to show more sensitivity too. So,
Well, let's agree to disagree. I'm sorry I brought that up, Robert.
I'm not so sure we disagree, but anyway. No,
Another show, another time.
But Amelia is Amelia's the one of the best. Yesterday was her birthday, and I said to her last night, I said my life changed completely 22 years ago today.
Is she your only child?
No, I have 4 daughters.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Do you have any? We saw Lucy. Is there any others at home that you could drag them in front of the camera?
They have to be as brilliant as your other daughter.
Whether I could drag him in front of the camera or not, I don't know. Hey, Phoebe, come here a minute.
Oh, I love the name Phoebe.
Phoebe, this is your uncle, Patrick
Hi,
Smith.
Phoebe.
How you doing, young lady?
And I think this is your great aunt.
Jennifer's my cousin, so I don't know how you.
Oh, okay. So she'd be like your second or third cousin.
Yeah, you're Jennifer's cousin, Robert.
Okay, all right.
Well, you're a
So many
gorgeous
people,
young
I can't
thing.
keep up with it.
Look at that. She's another beauty. Oh, look at that.
Oh my God, how cute.
Is that a cockapoo or a poodle doo or a labradoodle?
Labradoodle. Yeah.
Those are great dogs. There's a number of people have them in our family. I think Sis comes up here. She has a big labradoodle. That's gorgeous. Hey, young lady, do you miss your sister?
Yes, sir.
I think she's on here. She might be on here. Maybe we can call her up to say hello. Amelia, would you like to say hello to your dad and your sisters?
Come on, Amelia.
Strangers. Okay, Ray Pierce wants a link. Yeah, thank you for coming on, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in today. These have been, it's been a surprise week. Monday we had Amelia come in, and my niece, and then today we have Robert, and we saw Lucy for a second, and Phoebe, right? Oh, look at this! Look at this! Hold on here.
Hey.
Okay, Ray.
Yeah.
I didn't say anything, Amelia. I didn't say anything.
Yeah, thank you for coming on, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in today.
Hi, cousin.
These have been,
Hello.
it's been a surprise week. Monday we had Amelia come in. Okay, hold on
I
here.
almost thought that was Olivia.
Amelia, can you hear me? Because I muted you because I think you're watching this you can't watch it at the same time as you're on here. So you get kind of a loop going on. I think that was you. Hold on, we'll try it again.
I
Much
think I got it.
Awesome.
That's much better. Okay.
Good. How are you today?
Good. Good. I just took a nap after I got off work. So I feel a lot better.
Good. So we saw
Naps are always good, Amelia.
I'm sorry?
The naps are always good. How are you handling the isolation?
Oh, pretty well. I mean, I've been staying in touch with a lot of my friends through Skype and things like Facebook Messenger and FaceTime. And I've done a better job of reaching out to some friends that I haven't talked to in a long time over the phone. So
That's always a good thing.
How did you celebrate your birthday yesterday?
Well, my employer actually got cookies and some flowers for me. They gave me a tulip plant. I haven't brought it home yet because it's too cold outside to take it outside. So I got some cookies at their house, and then I came back here and Skyped some of my friends and had a long conversation with them. Two of my good friends from college, Mariah and Shannon. And I talked to my friend Hannah. That was about it.
Awesome. Good deal. I see we have a
Happy belated birthday.
Scotland. Hello, Yvonne. Ray Ray's my second cousin, so you could do the math on that one. He's Diane. Do you know my mom's sisters? You probably won't know them by heart or anything.
No, I know she has a bunch of them.
She has a lot, and her older sister Kaki had 10 kids. Jennifer is actually one of her 10 kids. Ray's mom is actually one of her 10 kids. It gets complicated. If you can follow along, I'll be way more than we could ask. But Ray's interesting. He's involved in selling he works for a medical supply company, and he sells ventilator.
Oh,
sorry, Jennifer. But he sells ventilators, test kits for the coronavirus, masks.
Whoa.
And he's kind of a player right now. How you doing, Ray? Thanks for popping on.
Yeah, doing good. Staying busy.
Well, that explains why you're the one person here with the biggest smile on their face.
Yeah. He lives in he's in Chico right now, but he's getting a house built down in Sacramento. He's got a lovely family too. He's got all boys. You have all girls. Ray has all boys. But they're a cute little group too. They're a dapper bunch.
Yeah, they're a handful.
Bring one of your boys up here.
How old are they?
Let's see one of them.
I've got a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Well, 9-month-old.
Mm.
Let's see. Gavin, come here. Come say hi to your cousin. Come on. You want to meet some family you haven't met before?
He doesn't even know what that means. Oh, look at him. Oh, those are two little characters, I tell you what.
Yeah, funny little story. Jen and I tried to give them their quarantine haircut yesterday, and neither one of us know what we're doing, so they got a funky little bowl cut right now.
That's okay. We grew up with those.
With some, and once we started doing it, Grayson wanted to have lightning bolts on the side of his head, so we gave him, or I tried to give him some lightning bolts. Didn't come out very well.
Yeah. Good. I think we're still missing one of your daughters, Robert. Is she just unavailable?
I'm not sure.
It's not going to happen.
Let me see. Hang on.
Did you see Elizabeth or Lucy?
We saw Lucy and Phoebe. I don't think we've seen Elizabeth yet.
Elizabeth is emotionally unavailable at all times.
Oh, she is?
How old are all your sisters?
Elizabeth is 17, about to be 18 in October. And Phoebe is 14, and I think Lucy's 12.
And I think I heard you turned 22 yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, your Aunt Kaki is on here. I see her. Amelia. Hello, Kaki. How you doing?
Elizabeth is out running laps around the block.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So how many pets do you guys have over there?
Not as many as we used to.
Well, we've got the kids normally spend 1 week with me and 1 week with their mom, and they've got a house, but their mother bought a house, and was supposed to be ready in November. It's still not ready for them to move into, so we're watching the house cat, and they just ordered a puppy. We got the puppy last week. Plus, there's an outside dog named Ripley that's Elizabeth's dog, and it's kind of a part retriever mongrel that's in the backyard, and so I guess you could say we have. Plus, we have your cat on the front porch, Anya. Yeah. So I guess you could say we have 4: 2 outdoor and 2 indoor.
What's your cat's name, Amelia?
Anya.
What?
Anya?
Oh, okay.
A-N-Y-A.
You miss her?
I do. I've been telling people if I can figure out pet-friendly housing in Chicago, I'm probably going to take her with me to graduate school. because I'm sick of not having her around.
Oh, good. Yeah. Pick a good place in Chicago. That's for sure.
That's the goal.
That's the goal. Good. What part of the city is DePaul in?
I don't know the city well.
Isn't it close to a place called Lincoln Park?
That sounds right. It's not in the Loop. The Loop is further south.
It's in the northern part of the city.
Yeah. North. Yeah, for the
It's kind of on the way to Racine, Wisconsin.
I don't know.
I was looking at maps. That's the only reason.
It's very close to the lake, actually. Like 12 blocks away. Not 12 blocks, but actually probably close to that. Within walking distance.
Jennifer, I see a comment. You got knocked off. I don't know how you got knocked off, but you didn't get knocked off. But again, I'm just going to. The rules are to keep this civilized. We don't talk politics, and I think you agreed to that before. So yeah, I'll mute you really quick if you want to get in here and start spewing political shit. Not going to happen. Excuse my language. Sorry, Amelia.
Can we talk historical politics?
Not right. You know what? I'll do a political show, but just
like how Andrew Jackson. Well, never mind.
Oh no.
Yeah, it doesn't. It usually doesn't turn out so well, and that's all. Anyway,
you ought to put a moratorium of 200 years. Anything that happened 200 years ago is fair game.
We could do that. That's good.
1820.
That's
the
a good.
Napoleonic Wars are on the table.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't actually have opinions about that.
Was the era of good feeling really that great?
I don't know.
Me neither.
I don't know. Amelia, I did look into the Australian philosopher a little bit today and looked at some of his history. He is kind of I want to be able to conversation with you, and so I tried. The one you said you're currently reading a book about.
He's Austrian. Sorry.
Austrian, and he was in World War I, and
Wittgenstein.
Yeah, he's kind of an interesting guy. So I'm trying to bone up a little bit for our conversations. I'll let you know.
Wittgenstein?
Yeah. Or as my teacher likes to call him, Louis.
Louis. Okay.
Louis.
I'll keep that in mind. I'll drop the link again if anyone else would like to come up here for sure. Love to see anybody. I think Robert would enjoy and Amelia would enjoy meeting them. Thank you for coming on again. You were a hit yesterday. So
no, it was fun yesterday though. I feel like I talked way too much about my essay.
Amelia's a very good interview subject.
Yeah, no, she is. She takes the ball and runs with it.
If I can't do that as a philosophy major or an English major, then they really failed me in school.
Okay, I'm looking at these pictures of Wittgenstein, and he looks sort of like a German Jack Kerouac.
Oh.
He's kind of got that rebellious beat look about him.
Did you read On the Road?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a given. That's a given. Yeah, I got into the beat poets for a while and the beat writers, and because every once in a while I used to go down to San Francisco and go to that. I can't think of the top of my head the name of the bookstore. That's
City Lights.
City Lights. Thank you. Spend hours in there looking at some of the stuff. Yeah, that history fascinates me in California. That's for sure. And Amelia, can I ask you? I know everyone thinks I'm crazy, and I throw this out there, but to me this is philosophical. And I want if you give me just think about it if you would sometimes. But in our world, in our physical world, there's only one thing that we can do, and that's to move things. Have you ever thought about that? The philosophy of that we only physically move things, nothing else. I know it seems weird, and I would love for you to contradict me. Because I'll get into a crazy loop where I'll go crazy. David Dietz, this is my cousin David. We kind of grew up together as little kids. We lived pretty much behind each other, 100 yards from each other. We're very close. David helps me. He's my go-to guy for construction questions. So
I figured that Maggie said 3 really smart people on the panel. I figured I'd balance it out.
yeah.
I think that too.
No, I'm big enough counterweight on that one, so you're good. David also lives in Huntington Beach. We have a few little, that was a little gathering point. I don't know if you were a beach kind of guy, but David lives there, and he has a shop in Fontana, which is Southern California. But yeah,
Huntington Beach, Surf City.
Surf City.
Yeah, why are you smiling like that?
Not
Who?
right now.
Who?
You, Dad, you were doing a smile, but then you said you just talked
Well,
about
he said Fontana. That used to be a place that we try to avoid driving through all the time.
Oh yeah, that's where I grew up. Yeah, that's pretty rough area, but actually a fantastic memories of growing up there. I don't think it's quite the
You
same.
weren't really in Fontana proper, were you? Weren't you more in San Bernardino?
I was born in San Bernardino. I think we moved to Fontana when I was 5 or 6.
Oh,
And I lived there till I was 12. So real, and we had a huge the Dietzes lived 100 yards away, 10 kids, and a lot of them are real close to my age. We had a neighborhood full of kids. So it was actually just a whole different era. No one looked at screens back then, and that's all we do.
that's true.
What are you up to, David?
It definitely has a reputation. Home of the Hells Angels.
Yeah, we got that claim to fame.
Center of the Ku Klux Klan in Southern California for a while.
Yeah, Sammy Hagar. If you know Sammy Hagar from Van Halen, he's a Fontana kid. So that's our claim to fame. Anyways,
It's changed a lot. It's a little different.
yeah, it's a little different.
Well, I guess my negative impression was when I was getting into teaching. I taught for 9 years in Temecula, and the other teachers would say, "Oh, you don't want to teach in Fontana; it's so bad up there, and there's all these gangs and everything." But that was already the 1990s. I'm sure the landscape had changed drastically by then from when you were kids.
A bit. Fontana in the 80s was still very segregated. That's not the case. I think it's predominantly Hispanic now.
Yeah.
I think if I remember right, there were cross burnings in Fontana at one point in the 80s, weren't there?
There used to be a cross burnings up in Jurupa Hills, if I remember right.
A what?
cross.
Up in the hills, there was a cross burnings up in.
Oh, cross burnings. Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's a different place, that's for sure. So who's out there? Want to type in who's out there and say hello and maybe want to come on the panel? I see my Aunt Khaki, Jennifer, sure can come back. Or Susie. Is Susie out there? Susie. We have a number of educators in the family. Susie was another one. Myself, you. Sis was in education.
My mom.
Khaki was in education, and I think Rachel, right?
I think my mom probably took the worst part of education because she taught
Special ed.
Special ed.
Yeah, that's not an easy job.
No,
that's not an easy job. So yeah,
and she brought her work home with her.
And she how old was she when she went back to school to get her teaching certificate?
I think she was in her 40s. I might be wrong. But.
Now Khaki's coming in and saying it's not true. Fontana's a great city to live in, and she's lived there a long time, so she would know. She would know.
I think my mom went back to school at such a late age to show us all that there was an option for us if we needed to.
No, she's actually an impressive lady. 10 kids. Late in life, she went back to school and became an educator. She's actually an awesome woman. I think she just turned 87 last week, and we had a lot of people came on and wished her happy birthday. It was one of my better shows, that's for sure. Sahara she's Kaki's granddaughter, and she was born in Fontana. So we're going to get the Fontana apologist coming on, which is okay, especially.
I'm beginning to feel like I owe Fontana an apology.
No, actually, most of them have never lived any other place than Fontana, so can't blame them too much.
Well, you know, as you know, brother-in-law Larry would say, God's country.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of the people I grew up with are still there. A lot of them are you know, they're there. Hello, Uncle Joe. How are you? Joe's in the house. I don't know if you got your camera yet, but we're waiting for Uncle Joe to come on to wax philosophical, along with Emily. Amelia, I'm sorry. Emily's just so much more, you know. But
It's okay. I haven't had a lot of people call me Emily throughout my life.
okay, well, I dyslexic that name a little bit, but no harm meant.
No. One of my favorite aunts used to call me Emily. Like, she just called me. She knew my name was Amelia, but she just called me Em.
Who was that? Who was one of your favorite aunts?
One of my mom's sisters, Aunt Trinity.
Aunt
She
Trinity.
was my favorite when I was very little.
Are they still in?
They're in California.
They're in California. How much family do you have in the San Diego area? I'm guessing.
Yeah, Dad, where are they? Where do they? What's that neighborhood they live in? With it's got like a tree name in it.
Alpine.
Yeah.
It's kind of up toward the mountains, but not quite in the mountains.
You said Alpine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to live in Dehesa Valley at a while. That's in that direction.
I know where Dehesa is. Yeah.
Yep. Nope. San Diego's a neat place to live. That's for sure. The weather's good. There's just way too many people. Way too many. You're in Valdosta, Georgia. Is that correct, Robert?
Yeah.
Is that a big city?
I don't know. We got about 80,000, 100,000 people here maybe by now. I don't know. It's the biggest city near me is Tallahassee, which is about an hour drive away.
Okay.
Tallahassee, Florida. But
they do have a good high school football program there.
that's about the only thing anybody here seems to be living for is high school football.
Yeah, they might be out of luck next year.
That's true. Yeah, they might have to get real.
They might have to get real. Oh, Sahara's corrected me. She lived in Wyoming and Chico, and she chose Fontana. Okay, we'll give you that. Fontana's not as horrible as we're saying.
If somebody actually chose to live there, that says a lot for Fontana.
Yeah.
Valdosta is the 16th largest city in Georgia, and it has 56,000 people.
Valdosta?
According to this website, it says it's going from census data in 2017.
So now that you've been traveling around, you've been in San Diego, Georgia, and North Dakota, correct? Mm-hmm. Any other places?
Only places that I've traveled through to get between those.
So which is your favorite so far?
I like different things about all of them.
Okay.
It's hard not to idealize California because I was so little when we were there. And I do think they have the best weather, obviously.
They do have, yeah, it's hard to beat San Diego weather. That's
and the best food.
Are you like the Mexican food?
Yes.
Oh yes, I miss that. And do you have an uncle that's a high school principal? I'm feeling that vibe. Amelia?
Yeah, that's Uncle Kirk.
Yeah, Trin's husband.
Yeah.
I'm either feeling that as a vibration or I'm reading the chat. I'm one of those. Yeah. Let me drop the link for, what? Let's have another educator come on and ask some questions. This is my, it's hard to say favorite cousin because I have so many, but she's definitely one who actually helped raise me. Spent a lot of time with Susie. So I dropped the link and she's, goodbye, David. Thanks for coming on. See you later. You did that on your own. I hope you understand that. But Susie lives also in Fontana, and she taught at a high school there she just retired. She's kind of on the retirement train, like I kind of want to be. Actually, I retired from teaching. I'm on a pension in California already. I taught only 13 years.
Dad, you didn't tell me that half our family was teachers.
Not half, trust me. But
I'm learning myself. I'm learning myself.
No, yeah, Susie, come on up. We'd love to hear from another educator. Sis, if you're listening, we have another one. Yeah, Rachel.
Actually, Amelia, these are all the real educators. I'm a fraud.
No. If
Yeah,
you
that, but
we don't want to hear about that. I was actually kind of the fraud. I faked it. I faked it for a long time, and they let me fake it. I had plenty of time in the principal's office getting chewed out, letting me know what I was doing wrong. That's for sure. But actually, I love teaching while I did it. I like the
It's
kids.
nice to know I'm not the only one who's had that experience.
Nope, I've been there, brother. And students
It's funny,
were the
you
good
see a
part.
heck of a lot more principals when you're a teacher than when you're a student.
Yes. So Susie was a counselor. I hope she saw the link and is going to come on. But no, I miss the kids, the parents and the administration and the politics that go along with that. And I did use the word politics, but in a different kind of way. But yeah. And that being said, Mom, would you like to come on? You're kind of part of this little crew too.
yeah. Come on, Grandma Dennis.
Come on up here, Miss Murray. I'll drop the link again. Let's see if you can figure this one out. I don't know where Susie is. Jennifer, I wish you would come up here, or anyone, because it's getting a little awkward when I run out of things to say.
So, what prompted you to start doing this?
Your dad asked that. I'll try to run through it. I was going to do a thing for kids where I was going to do science experiments and answer math questions, and everyone said, "Oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea." But then when I started prepping for it and looking into it, it turns out there's a ton of things out there that are just that they have way more resources than I do. Mm-hmm. So I just got on here one day. I was going to answer math questions, and it ended up being mostly family members. And it used to be on my personal channel. And we started talking mostly family banter and stories and stuff that would be boring to most anyone else. So I created the Isabel Shaw page, which is your great grandmother, who was a wonderful. You'll have to hear stories about her, but she was the glue that really it was a matriarchal family and awesome woman. And so I named the page after her, and it just I come on at 4, and people actually come on. It surprises me every bit as much as it might surprise you, but people come on and watch, and I'm bored. I'm very bored. I think I have a captive audience where they're stuck. It's there's nothing else to do. So, and it's a chance for people to talk, and like Khaki when her 87th birthday. Yeah, and I say a lot, and it kills me, but that's what I do.
Yeah, I'm trying to excise from my vocabulary too, but it's harder to get rid of for me.
Yeah.
I
definitely cannot rewatch these because I cringe and I have nightmares about it. So I just simply don't rewatch, and it makes it a lot easier.
I'm surprised Amelia hasn't picked up more of the vernacular where she's living right now. Because there's people up there, they have their own kind of way of talking that's a little bit different than the rest of the country, don't you know?
Oh, yeah. Aren't you staying for supper?
Oh, yeah. Bring a hot dish.
Just let me squeeze right past you.
Is that the Swedish kind of, or the Canadian influence?
They call that the Great Lake accent.
The Great Lake accent, yeah.
I think it's both.
Yeah. So are you close to a Great Lake? I'd have to look.
No. We've got a whole state between us and the lakes, Minnesota. So I've actually been to, is it Lake Superior?
At Duluth.
Yeah. So I've been to Duluth in Minnesota and seen Lake Superior, but that was just one time. And that's probably 8 hours from here, like an 8-hour drive.
Minnesota's a nice place. I'd take Minnesota over the Deep South any day of the week.
Yeah.
In fact, Bismarck is a wonderful city. I would highly recommend at least visiting there sometime. It's a really nice place. The people are really nice.
I think it's a lot like Valdosta. There's not an awful lot to do here. The great thing about it is the people. So if you stay for a long time and actually get to know people, then you really get the benefit of the community, and that's amazing and beautiful. But visiting, I don't know if I could recommend it. Though it is better during the summer.
It's just kind of a place to take in. There's really not a lot of activities there. You're right about that.
No.
So Chicago will be a big change for you because I think it's quite the cultural city. A lot of people love Chicago or come from there. It's one of America's great cities.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be a good. I lived on one of the Great Lakes for a couple of years, Lake Ontario, Rochester, New York. It was cold and I didn't like it very well. But
did you ever go to Buffalo?
Oh yeah.
I've heard Buffalo's a dump. I don't know if that's true or not, but I've heard it's a horrible place.
That whole section is kind of old and weather beaten. I guess you could say it's real rusty looking, and yeah, it's definitely not California. That's for sure. No,
yeah. Grandma is asking you in the chat to put my sisters on.
And
well, if I could get Elizabeth to come on, I've had Phoebe and Lucy, but let me see if I can get Elizabeth.
Okay, Susie, were you introduced to Amelia and Robert?
Hi.
Hi. Hello there. I heard you guys were talking bad about Fontana, so I was told to get on and defend my city.
Yeah, that's right. You are. Susie was a great educator. Her students absolutely adored her. She was a counselor mostly, and another self-taught after she had her children, went and got her master's, and a great role model for our family. One of my role models.
Well, I want to clarify. I was not bad-mouthing Fontana. I just said it had a rough reputation. But Fontana is also the backbone of a place like Southern California because it's an industrial center. A lot of trucking goes through there. Without places like Fontana, the rest of the state wouldn't be able to live its luxurious lifestyle.
Good save.
So, in the 90s, it was a lot of gangs. I started working in '86, and it was rough, and it got a lot better. And I've lived right here in town for 35 years, and I got to say, I've never had anything stolen from me. I've never had any problems on my property. I've never had any go-arounds in the community. So it's a rough town, and it has a reputation for being a rough town, especially back in the '60s. But it's been a good place for me to live. I've been happy here. I can't complain. Education-wise, it was a great district to work for. I have to say, I loved it. I loved every minute of it, and I loved the kids because they were all so appreciative and poor and economically deprived and so appreciative, though. Much better than working with a high income population, I think. That's just my opinion, but I liked it. It's good. Amelia, you could be my daughter if your hair was a little darker.
Doesn't she look like Olivia?
She sure does. I said, look at Amelia. She looks just like Olivia.
You do. You have a relative that looks like could be your sister for sure.
I've got to see some pictures.
Yeah, she's about 43 now, so she's much older than you are, but you have the same features. She'll come on. I'll tell her to come one time when you're on. You can see her.
Okay.
And we're joined also by Susie's brother, another Dietz clan. Oh, look at this.
Okay, this is Elizabeth. This is Amelia's my second oldest to Amelia.
Yeah.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hello.
Elizabeth's just getting out of bed, isn't she?
No, I just went on a run.
This is your Uncle Patrick. He's my half brother.
Nice to meet you.
Is that some pretty red hair you're rocking there, young lady?
No, it always looks red in this lighting, but it's just like light brown.
Hers is the darkest of the four of us. Hers is dark like Dad's.
Now the girl with the glasses like the Italian cardinal, that's your...
No, I know.
Oh, yeah, that's Amelia. Okay.
So
I'm
don't
surprised they run in Georgia. Were you out jogging?
I mean, I don't want to say I like it, but I do it.
Yeah, you
get
surprisingly acclimated.
That's just motivation. That's good motivation.
I've been walking 2 miles a day too, and it's killing me, but I do it. I don't like it, but I do it. Since my swim class is canceled, got to do something, right? That's the active. Okay.
I came on to represent Fontana, Smitty.
I know you did. But you're in Chico. So Dennis is one of my closest cousins that I grew up with in Fontana. He's Susie's brother.
A bar fighter.
He's actually you have two cousins, and these are two of Robert's cousins, and I guess they would be second cousins to the girl. to the girls in the screen, and
Yep.
yeah.
I was just going to back that rough reputation of Fontana for Rob.
Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
Well, we were noted as a you didn't come to Fontana and mess around from outlying areas.
You're not holding
Fontana
a
had
you
a
off camera, are you?
We backed it. We all backed that reputation because we were all kind of crazy.
In the
Crazy
50s,
steel workers.
60s, Robert, the Fontana football team was nationally renowned, and that bus would pull in I guess it was late 60s, and the guys in Fontana would get on the bus and beat the football players up before they ever got off. That's the kind of rowdy we had.
Then that was just the local boys, not the other football team.
Yeah, that was just local.
No, it was a big steel town. So yeah, it was a rough working class folks doing that.
There was a little mafiosa in Fontana, a lot of Italians.
Yeah, actually, Al Capone had a house in Fontana.
That was the rumor. I don't know how true that was.
Well, you'll wipe that smile off your face.
It's true.
So yeah, did Al Capone have a house in Fontana? I feel like you would know.
Yes.
He did.
Yes, he really did. It's about 2 blocks from me. We called it Al Capone's mansion. It has a big C on the fireplace, and he'd come in on the train and walk over to his house, and there was tunnels underneath that are still there. That's true. True story.
And actually, I think we cracked this code a little bit. Susie's grandfather, grandfather came from Chicago and was had a restaurant that had some ties to Al Capone, and we were wondering why they both ended up in Fontana.
Al Capone
Well, Grandpa
and
was
my
built.
having
Grandpa was
ties.
building a casino for Al Capone in Chicago, and the other gangs came in and burnt it down.
No,
The
that's
word
not the
was
story.
Grandpa got ran out of Chicago because of the rival mafiosa, and he had to get out of there for his life.
Story. Do you want me to tell you the story, Dennis? Because I think
Okay,
you got it wrong.
you probably know it better than me.
He built a restaurant outside of Chicago. Was a really good restaurant, and the mafia came in and wanted him to start serving liquor during Prohibition, and he refused to do it. And they burned his restaurant down, and then he moved out to California. That's the story my Aunt Marilyn told me.
Well, and that's probably the true deal.
Yeah, hi there.
Hey, let me clarify that Al Capone. Jeff Mead was the best man at my wedding. I still keep in contact with Jeff Mead. Jeff Mead lived in that house. Never was it confirmed that it was Al Capone's, but there were some little secret passages that led from the basement to, we couldn't really find the end. It kind of was all caved in. And
I'm losing you guys.
one more little tidbit: the cross burnings were in the hills. The cross burnings were on that same street by the YMCA. George Pepper
was the head of the coup.
Who was the big wizard of the KKK in Southern California, and they had several cross burnings there. Yeah, crazy town. And Robert, for the record, I chose to leave Fontana. I loved growing up there, but I chose to leave. I got ripped off from childhood days, but I lived out in the farmland, so we were easy pickings. But yeah, I chose to leave. I love the place, and I'm with you. It's rough.
Well, you can all say a prayer for me that someday I'll be able to depart and get out of the deep south.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, you know, I've made some road trips across America, and going through the deep south and parts of some of the central part of the country scares me.
Okay, I got to go do dinner. I just had to come on for a minute, so I'm leaving now. Nice to meet both of you. Talk to you guys all soon. And I'll bring the doppelganger on.
Thanks for popping in and saying hello.
Bye.
Bye.
So where are you on your journey now, Dan Wells?
I think he's frozen.
I think he's buffering right now. No, I'm going to mess the names up. Who was the last daughter that was on the screen? That was
Elizabeth. She came right after Amelia.
She's number 2.
She's not a wallflower, is she?
Oh no.
No, not at all. Are you still homeschooling those young ladies?
No, I had to give it up. I had to go back to work, and I'll be honest with you, homeschooling Amelia was easy because all I had to do was stick something in front of Amelia and she'd do it. Amelia is practically self-taught. I didn't teach her very much of anything. She taught herself. The other kids, I didn't do as good a job as I think a lot of homeschoolers should do. I could have done better with them. I was in over my head trying to homeschool 4 at a time. So they're better off. They're better off being in a regular school probably.
No, I think there's a lot of socialization things that happen in regular school, but whatever Amelia went through, yeah, I think
actually, that would be the one place where I would probably take issue with you more than anything else. Is there seems to be this stereotype that homeschool kids don't know how to, or that they aren't socialized with other kids. But when you get into homeschooling, you meet other homeschool families, so you meet other homeschool kids. But plus, there's after-school activities and stuff. And if anything, I think my kids had as good, if not better, social skills than a lot of kids that were going into schools. And I think a lot of it was the fact that they learned how to interact with each other rather than interact with a cell phone all day or do something like that.
I think we were really well socialized.
Yeah.
We also were able to interact with other kids better because we were taught how to interact with adults first.
Okay.
But yeah, homeschooling's not for every kid. It worked for me. Obviously, it doesn't work for everyone.
No, some parts of I was a homeschool teacher for a while myself up here in Crescent City. So no, there's good and bad, and I did kind of stereotype that, and now that's a my bad situation.
It depends on the parents and a ton of other things. So.
Yeah. It worked very well for you. I can tell you that.
Well, in San Diego, it was a little different. We had a lot of families that we were really close to who were all homeschoolers, and it was like this big collective, and we'd meet each other for picnics and parties and stuff like that, and the kids were all really tight with each other. Mm-hmm. And then when we came here, it was just different. It was like, I don't know, a lot of these people, they just weren't like the kind of people we knew. They weren't as we had in California. The people we knew who were homeschooling their kids were educated people. Out here, we had people that weren't quite they really didn't know what they were doing. Weren't homeschooling their kids, and it was all, I don't know. It was just a little bit different.
No, there's good and bad on both sides, that for sure. But it does take a big commitment from the parents.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about that. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. It sure is. So, do you have any questions for any family members? Either one of you guys? Either one of you two? About your history? Are you interested in history, or because we're pretty open, and there's some great things, and it's probably like any other family that we have very interesting stories, and we also have. We've all had our ups and downs. I could share a lot of those stories. I don't really want to.
I guess if anything, I'd like to know, how did Chico become sort of this central vortex for the Shaws since they lived in San Bernardino for so many years?
Oh, that's a good question, and I kind of have the answer. My mom's brother Danny Shaw. Have you ever heard of him or met him?
Heard of him?
Yeah, he was the second boy out of 3. This is the part I might not have right. His children, I think, I don't know if I want to get in trouble. I think when he got a divorce, his ex-wife moved up to Paradise, which is right by Chico. So he was the first one of the Shaws to move up there, and then at the same time, or very much, very close to that, my Uncle Joe moved up there, and I want to say maybe Kenny. I'm not sure. So those are the first ones, and then people. It was so different than Southern California. It was like it was nature. There was trees. There was creeks, and that went through the center of town. And it was real idyllic compared to San Bernardino. And whenever anybody visited up there, they kind of fell in love with it. So there was a migration. There was a migration up at Chico. I went up there to start high school. I loved it. I went from San Bernardino to Chico. It was night and day. Joe came on and said he came before Danny. I don't know the complete story. Joe, maybe you can fill me in on those details, so I'll get corrected. Did Danny's come to follow you or his ex-wife, or am I completely wrong? But it was in the early '70s, and I was up there by '76, and I fell in love with Chico. I fell in love with Chico, and now I see it as a big city, and I live in a real small town. So when I go to Chico now, I'm a little overwhelmed, but a real nice place to grow up with, that's for sure. So that's kind of the best story. Yeah, Joe said Danny's ex was the first, so that's kind of the story. I'm not sure what the numbers were, and then when Grandma, which is Isabel, and Byron moved up there, that was kind of the catalyst to make it okay. Chico's the hot spot. So, and that was probably 73, 74, I'm guessing. Something like it, but that's a good question. I'm sure I messed it up, but I got partial credit on that. I'm pretty sure. I'm good with partial credit. So yeah, they went up there in about 72 was the original people. Have you ever been to Chico, Robert?
No, I've been to Sacramento. I've been around Chico. The last time I was up that way, we went through Redding and then shot down to San Francisco, but I have not been to Chico.
Amelia has been to Chico.
Yes.
Yeah. What'd you think of Chico?
I loved it. I mean, it felt like a very laid back little town for California anyways.
Did you get a chance to visit the campus, the Chico State campus?
Yeah, Grandma took me there. We walked around through the park and all around the creek, and we visited like an old historic mansion, and she took me out to Paradise, and there was a covered bridge. It was beautiful, and I loved it.
You know, it's sad is, and actually Dennis, who was on here earlier, you know, we lost all of that. You know, there was that Paradise fire, and we've had 3 or 4 family members lose everything. One of them actually recently moved back to Nashville, Tennessee. Ooh. Dennis is regrouping in Chico, but yeah, the covered bridge is no longer.
Wow.
It all burned down. It was a I'm sure you heard it was a pretty big.
I heard about it, but I didn't know about the bridge.
Yeah, and for a while there, my mom was almost ready to get evacuated. You know, from that house, it was a few miles from there. It was actually a pretty big fire, that's for sure.
Yeah, I remember she told me like while part of it was happening. I remember talking to her and her saying, "Well, I don't know if we're going to have to evacuate or not."
I just remember when they were evacuating people because they thought that dam was going to burst up there.
Yeah, that was like the year before. And that one, I remember that, yeah, watching that on the news, it came within a couple of hours, you know, of that thing going down. And yeah, that was a close one. Yeah, that would have been brutal. That would have wiped out a lot of people, I think. But yeah, they've had their share of catastrophes.
Is Chico on Highway 99?
Yes, 99 goes right through Chico.
Okay. Because we used to take, my dad had a half sister that lived in Modesto, and I remember we used to always take 99 to go see them in Modesto.
Yeah, I think that's 200 or 300 miles
south.
Chico, south of Chico. Yeah, I lived in Sacramento for a while. I was never a fan of Sacramento. I never liked the way the city was laid out and the traffic. Not a big fan of Sacramento, but yeah, Chico is a neat place. I never did watch the documentary about the Paradise Fire. It's just, I don't know. I think for some reason I didn't want to watch it.
Did you see the film? The feature film came out about a year ago called Lady Bird.
Yeah, that was
because that's Sacramento.
Oh, okay. I was thinking Bird in a Bush. I don't know if you saw that was Julia Roberts movie about. And that was all filmed here in Crescent City on the Smith River, where she was blindfolded. It was a Netflix special. You watch Netflix by any chance?
Oh, Bird Box. I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I only watch it when I can steal someone else's password.
Okay. I'll share with mine. You have to watch The Tiger King. No, I'm kidding. Stay away from that one. It's not. It's the big movie of this Corona. You hear a lot about that. A lot of memes about Tiger King.
Mm-hmm.
Don't recommend it, by the way. I don't recommend it.
Well, all I've really heard about it is they make the ex-wife out to be this villain when she was actually like campaigning for the well-being of the tigers and probably did what isn't as much of a villain as they made her out to be with editing. But
no, actually, since it's came out, a lot of the players in that movie they're making the rounds on different media, and there was definitely agenda to that movie. You know, one guy was shown without his teeth all the time, but he has a full mouth, and they always asked him to take out his dentures for any. Yeah, there was definitely an agenda, and it did very much make it look like that woman killed her husband, or they insinuated that for sure. And yeah, I don't know. But yeah, we're bored. We're bored. Hey, that was a good question about Chico. Any other like think about your family? You know, because you're on a different end of the adoption than I was. And do you have any mysteries or about? I'm kind of curious about what you might have found out about your real dad.
Is your mom listening right now? Because I want to be real careful about how I say this, but I can tell you this: he did her wrong in a major way, and I won't go any more specific than that. But what I do know about the guy is he was married twice. He had kids from his first marriage. He had kids from another marriage, and he was basically a gambler and a con artist. And he died penniless up in Klamath Falls, Oregon.
Wow. Okay.
And that's about all I know about it. The people I spoke to said that he was looked upon as the black sheep of the family. And the family would have him over for certain things, but he was never allowed to stay. Nobody trusted him, that sort of thing. He was not a nice person, or at least not a reliable person, I guess.
Interest is the half sisters and brothers still in the Bay Area? Because I believe that's where he was from. Am I correct about the Bay Area?
He was somewhere in the Bay Area. It's low on specifics. He had two sisters, and both of them are dead. He's dead, but he had a daughter, and this is the thing that's intrigued me the most because I was actually able to pull up pictures of her. But he had a daughter who ended up becoming the girlfriend of David Crosby, who was in the Byrds and Crosby, Stills, Nash. And they recently did a documentary on David Crosby called Remember My Name, and I watched it just out of curiosity about this. And there's about 3 minutes of it that he devotes to her, because what happened is she got killed in a car accident while they were living together. And it just completely threw him into a tailspin and really accelerated his drug use. And there are actually pictures of her on there. And when I saw that, it's like, wow, this is actually a sister of mine. And I never knew her.
Wow.
Just kind of bizarre.
That is, yeah. We actually very well know about David Crosby. I actually recently saw him with Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Recently, I'm sure it's over 10 years ago now. But no, he's and he was in another one recently about Laurel Canyon. I can't think of it, but that was your half sister, or your half sister. Must have been half sister, right?
Yeah, she was 11 years older than me, and she was from his first marriage.
Interesting.
So
actually, we have something in common. My real father passed away penniless, also, in San Diego.
Well, if things keep working out for me the way they're going, I'll probably follow suit.
Yeah, I'm on that path myself. But you got some backup there. You got that girl out on the screen. You have an insurance policy that I don't have.
That's not her job. Her job is to fulfill her vocation.
That's good. But I'm sure she'll help out Pops.
Academic books are not profitable, so don't get your hopes up, Dad.
Yes. So do you have any questions for any of your family, Amelia, while they're out there?
I mean, I know so little, it's hard to even formulate a question. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw your grandma. She didn't want to come on. She said she's cooking dinner, but she's probably self-conscious about.
She's always cooking dinner.
She hasn't been to a beauty place in a while, so I think it bugs her. I got over that. Like I said, I just don't simply I can't watch these, and I'm okay with it. Makes it a little easier.
Grandma, if you're watching this, no one cares that your hair isn't done. It'll be okay.
No, yeah, she usually actually watches the show to about 5, and they're on a routine. Old folks tend, I'm an old folks too, but they have their set times for dinners, and they have a routine, and she usually stops watching. I think she watched it longer yesterday because you were on. But yeah, she's probably cooking her dinner, getting ready for their dinner. But no, I'd like to. You know what? I'd like to see more of you guys. I'm really glad you came on today. That's awesome. This is the longest we've ever talked, Robert. I'm sure of that.
Yeah. Well, this got my curiosity up because I'm sitting at my computer this morning, minding my own business. I get this phone call from our mother saying, "Did you see Amelia yesterday? Blah blah blah. Did you?" And it's like, whoa, slow down. And I didn't even know this thing existed. So I thought, okay, I'll check it out for myself.
Did you find it? I got your text after I got off work.
Well, I got Patrick's number, and then he sent me a link, because if I try to look up Patrick Smith on Facebook, you have any idea how many Patrick Smiths are in America? I mean,
yeah,
that's like going to Mexico City and looking up Juan Garcia.
Yeah, there's more than one of me. There's more than one of me in my city, and one of them turns out writes bad checks, so that's not very good either. But there's a kind of a curse to having a very common name. But I'm getting through it. There's a blessing to it too. So yeah, how much of that show? I'm a little embarrassed. How much of that show did you watch from yesterday?
Yeah,
Robert?
Dad.
Well, all totaled, I watched maybe 10 minutes worth. I just kind of kept fast forwarding. Every time you'd start answering philosophy questions, I thought, okay, I've heard that before. And
okay, well,
she comes home, and I'll ask her a question about philosophy. And I get about the first 2 minutes of what she's saying, and then it just starts escalating up into these levels that are just so far beyond my capacity to comprehend. And I just let her keep going. I mean, I don't want to deflate her balloon, but
no, you have to stop me so I can explain it better, so you can actually understand.
But,
well, that's another thing we have in common. I just felt that conversation yesterday getting deeper and deeper, and I didn't really know how to rebound, but.
I took 3 philosophy classes when I was in college, and after the second one, it's like, okay, I don't know how much more of this I can do. So.
No, I took one, and some of the things, and maybe Amelia could tell me, but when the teacher was about a guy, this might have been Hume. I'm not sure, Hume or Kant. They were the big. I think they were the big. They're big philosophers.
They're big names.
And one of them said, like, when you leave a room, you can't assume the chair is still there. Something to that effect, and it's like it kind of lost me at that point. So,
yeah, that sounds like Barkley, one of Hume's contemporaries.
Since we both went to San Diego State, do you remember the name of your philosophy professor?
No, but it was a lady, and she wasn't very good.
Oh,
she didn't capture my interest, but I had a lot of things going on besides school at that point. Like I said, I was on the 7 or 8 year plan, which
I had a hilarious philosophy teacher. The first class that I had was my philosophy class when I was a freshman, and I had to get special permission to be in the class because it was part of this program for recovering drug addicts and whatever. And I had to sign some kind of waiver to be in the class because I was going to be in there with all these recovering drug addicts. And it's like they were the friendliest class of any class I was at state. All the other classes, nobody talked to anybody, but in this class, you'd walk in there and they'd come up and start talking to you. And but the teacher was this crazy Cuban guy. His name was Oscar Marty, and he had this bulging kind of tumor-like thing growing over his eye. And I remember I remember having an essay question on one of the tests, and he said, what would be a more virtuous act, to read Heidegger or to read a Wonder Woman comic book and prove your point?
So I think Heidegger came up yesterday, actually, in the comments. In Amelia. Amelia didn't know a lot about him, but then she turns out she did. So, no, yeah, I would have a good answer.
My one spiel on Heidegger. That's like everything I have to say about him.
Well,
Well, I actually had something that almost approaches the level of a miracle happen in his class.
Okay, let's hear it.
I have narcolepsy, and I get sleepy real easily. And it was 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sitting there just fighting my eyelids, trying to stay awake. And he's lecturing on, and I'm just about to nod off. And the night before, I had watched some weird documentary from National Geographic, and it had to do with this thing,
Right
this group called the Hottentots in Africa, the Hottentot tribe. And anyway, he's talking about some German philosopher or something like that. I forget what. And I'm having doubts about my faith or something. And I kind of mumble this prayer to myself. I say, God, if you can really hear my prayer right now, have him completely stop talking about this German philosopher and talk about the Hottentot tribe. And a half second later, he says, now take, for instance, the Hottentots. And I jumped out of my seat. I said, whoa. I was awake for the rest of that class after that happened.
Well, that's a memorable moment, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Hottentot. What do you? Okay.
I've heard that story before, so.
Okay, I'm gonna sum up the Hottentot tribe for us. What you were awake, so what you got to remember, what, don't you?
All I remember is they have really big rear ends. That's all I can say about the Hottentots.
That was the big impression, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. So let me drop that link in case somebody else would like to come on and say hi.
Actually, I'm gonna have to bail out. So Patrick and Amelia, it's been wonderful talking with you both, but I gotta move on and do some other things. So
Robert, thank you so much for coming on. Feel free to come on anytime.
I will.
Love to connect with you a little bit more.
All right, we'll be in touch.
Take care, buddy.
Don't forget that thing we talked about.
Who, me or you? Who's he talking to?
Either one of us. It's just a thing he says.
Oh, okay, yeah, because it got me thinking. So, did you think about my little proposition about we only move things?
A little bit. We only rephrase it for me again.
In the physical world, we can only move things. That's it.
Well,
go ahead.
You say it like we can only move things, as
no,
if
I know. Yeah, I know.
That limits our abilities somehow.
No, but somehow I always thought that there was more than our existence than simply moving things. But that's.
Well, you said physically, right? There's more to life than physicality.
There is, but like I know one that comes up often is your thoughts, or you have a thought. But and I agree with that. You know, at some level, electrons are moving, but we don't have to go there. But in order to make that thought practical, you have to move something, right? You have to talk about it. You have to move air, move sound, or you have to type it or write it. So at a very fundamental, you have to move water into your body. You have to move food into your body. And humans really love to move things. If we look at, that's a huge difference between us and the rest of the animals is, we move exponentially more things than most animals ever do. And
we're operating at a higher level, right? Animals move things all the time, but our category of moving things doesn't just have like eating and sleeping and doing the things that are necessary for survival. We also have art and science and all kinds of other stuff that we do just for recreation. So saying we only move things feels misleading to me because, you can call all of that moving things, but there's a whole lot going on in that category.
No, there is, but fundamentally, it always involves movement. That's all. I know it's kind of crazy. Don't dwell on it too much. There's no dissertation there or anything like that. But I come from like a physical physics kind of background where it's really the study of energy. Mm-hmm. And the physical science definition of energy is the ability to move things. So energy to me is like, that's the universal currency. That's what we use is energy. And that's what's important to us. And it allows us to move things. And we have to move things. That's all. I'll let that one go now. And thank you for bearing with me on that.
I just don't think you should discount mental or otherwise inner states too much.
No, I think that is that is a big part of
perception.
It is, and things like music, it's so important. You've done instruments and that kind of thing, if I remember correctly. But music is so important to people at a real fundamental level. But again, that's sound waves are moving air and moving your eardrums, and it involves movement. But I know, yeah, and thoughts, and I don't know if you've had the pleasure of falling in love yet, but that's going to be an interesting situation for you one of these days, which is always kind of a special part of life. I'm sure you'll get to experience it. If not, and we won't talk about it.
Would say that I have, but
You would?
yeah.
Oh, good, excellent, good. I won't embarrass you unless you want to talk about it.
I wouldn't answer those questions, so
Good.
it didn't work out. I'll leave it at that.
It usually doesn't, but guess what? It'll come around again. That's kind of life. The best advice, you don't take my advice, but what I found is good things happen and bad things happen, and good things happen, bad things happen, and good things happen. Sometimes both together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of a cycle, and don't let either one of them overwhelm you, and you'll be fine. That's it. That's your Uncle Patrick's best advice for you right now. And other than that, keep on doing what you're doing. So you're doing some good things.
Okay.
Anybody else out there? I dropped the link. You can see it. Did I scare people off? Was I a little bit too abrupt today? I don't know. I just don't know. You get what you pay for, is what I want to say.
I guess my time in the spotlight is over. People came to see my dad today.
No, that was neat. Actually, that was neat to see your dad. I talked with him a bit on the phone today. I sent him a link to see the video. I don't know what he's going to think, because we get a little ragged around the edges. Some things might not be the most appropriate, but we're mostly all old people. So I don't know. Hope you didn't get offended by anything.
No.
But you made a really nice impression, and I know my mom was very proud. I was proud. Your dad, I'm going to assume he's proud, and just keep up the good work. You're doing great. That's all. And you have some cute sisters too, by the way.
Yes.
Darling. Yeah. Elizabeth, the last one we saw, she seemed like she's for little she talked. I can tell when she talked that she's not afraid to talk.
No.
So okay, here then. I'm an outsider. I don't know much about your sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Sum them up for me a little bit. Tell me a little bit about them.
Elizabeth likes to act like she doesn't care, but underneath that surface, she's a firebrand.
Now, how old is Elizabeth?
She's the 17-year-old, so she's the oldest after me.
Okay.
I think she's the most strong-willed out of any of us. Like, I think she's more strong-willed even than I am.
Mm-hmm.
And she's also an artist. I don't know. She's got sort of a tempestuous temperament.
Okay.
Which can be really good and can be really bad. It just depends on the day.
And she's artistic, you were saying?
Yeah. She doesn't draw as much as she used to, but she's gotten really good. She just sketches all the time whenever she's not doing schoolwork or like talking to her friends, and even sometimes while she is talking to her friends, she's just drawing all the time. And her style changes every week, but she's experimenting with all these things, and now the stuff that she's coming out with looks like something an art student would do. Honestly, she has this sort of intuitive grasp of how to use colors in ways that wouldn't immediately occur to you, right? But that still are beautiful. So.
Oh, that's a nice little tribute. Some of the people I envy the most, if I use that word correctly, musicians and artists. It's something I just don't have, and they're so important, and they're a lot of times looked over. But I have much respect in comedians too, but I'm not good at that either. But comedians, the arts are real important. I really appreciate the arts. Okay, let's see. We talked about Elizabeth, who's 17, right?
Yes.
Who's next? Who's next down the line?
Phoebe is 14 or maybe 15. I'm not sure.
Oh.
Well, her birthday's in July, and if Elizabeth is 17 right now, I think that I can't do the math. I don't know. She's in that ballpark, 14, 15.
Okay.
maybe she's 15 and she's gonna turn 16 in July. I don't know. Phoebe is strange. I love her, but she's strange. She's very much a girly girl. She loves everything pink, everything to do with princesses and fairies. And she does ballet. She's actually very good at it. She's only been taking lessons for like a year and a half, but she's really good. They've got her doing point stuff now, like in point shoes. And she did like a solo performance that she choreographed herself for something at school. It's really incredible. She writes poetry. And she won a poetry contest at school, which Lucy, the youngest, placed second in. So 2 kids from our family got first and second place in the poetry contest. And I told her to stop doing this because she can't get royalties from it, but she was like posting her poems on this online forum.
Mm-hmm.
She actually, like a collection of her poems that she had put together, was at like the #1 spot for the website for like a solid week.
Wow.
Yeah, she's pretty good. She doesn't show me much of her work, but I know it's out there.
No, that's awesome. But the monetary thing, that could just be a good catalyst to there's other ways to benefit from that, and just being up there a week's got to give her a confidence boost, right?
Oh yeah.
It's always nice to get appreciated.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's great. So you said weird? Is that the word you?
Weird in some ways. I
watched this, by the way, so be careful.
What? Oh yeah. No, I would tell her this to her face. She knows. She's weird, not in a bad way, just like she's one of the few people in my life who I can stay up late talking about conspiracy theories with. I don't really believe in any conspiracy theories, but I'm always interested in hearing what people have to say, like just the crazy things that people come up with and sort of thinking through the like, what if? Yeah, and she likes that too. So we both love all kinds of mythology and scary stories. And she, like, despite her girly girl appearance, like it's very rare to see Phoebe not wearing something white or pink. But she also loves sort of like gruesome and creepy things. So I don't know.
Okay, I got a picture. Of Phoebe, and there's one more, right?
Yeah, Lucy's the youngest, and she is the loudest. But she's the loudest because she's the youngest, so she like had to learn to be loud and to always like have an opinion right at the very beginning of something. Otherwise, no one would listen to her. She was trying to talk over the 3 older ones of us. So, I know her less well than the other 2 because I've been gone for the past 5 years now. But she loves to dance. She's surprisingly good at it, though she won't admit that she's good at anything, basically. She dances and she likes to sing. She plays the saxophone.
Awesome.
Yeah, actually, Elizabeth doesn't play an instrument. Elizabeth plays the ukulele. Phoebe plays the clarinet, and Lucy plays the saxophone and the classical guitar.
That's odd. What did you play, by the way?
Violin.
Violin. Do you still play?
I'm really out of practice, but I took lessons for 6 years, so I was pretty good.
Awesome. Do you still have a violin?
Yep.
Well, I think we're going to see your violin. Terry, she's talking about her 3 younger sisters.
Here.
There it is. Are you ready to bust out a note?
I don't think it's in tune. Hold on. Ooh. Hold on. I need to fix the E string.
Okay. Can you tune it by ear?
We'll see.
Okay. We have some talented musicians in our family on this side.
Yeah, I'm very rusty, so I won't be able to do anything impressive. Oh, that's not right.
It sure resonates all right. So these last two shows so far this week have been kind of I'm kind of I feel a little they've been about my family for a change, which is kind of neat, even though I don't really know you that well. But it's awesome that you came on.
Yeah. No, this has been fun to meet all these other people because I know that there's so many of you out in California and on the East Coast that I never have even met.
No, and I think if I don't even know if anyone could have us. I'm sure someone could help me out with a solid number of relatives you have on this side of the family, but it's well over 100. I'm sure that are still living. Well over 100. There's a lot that I don't know anymore. That a younger generation that I'm very unfamiliar with, and I like Ray's kids. I love to see them come on. Sahara's beautiful little daughter. I don't know her very well. She comes on here once in a while. So, yeah, when you have a chance, pop in every now and again, and say hello. You get to meet people, and yeah, a lot of people don't let me know who's watching, and that's okay. But I would like to give you a shout out. Maybe ask some questions to some of the folks watching. Anybody want to say who's out there watching? Amelia, ready to bust out Concerto number 7 from Bach or something like that?
Oh, no. Yeah, I'm trying to work that one out by ear. I know it's one of Bach's cello pieces, but I can't. I've just been doing it by ear, so I don't know.
I don't know if I've heard anybody seen anybody finger pick their violin.
It's a good practice thing when you're trying to learn the fingerings. But I just didn't want to get my bow out because I don't have the shoulder rest. So
okay. Well, that was awesome. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
I'm trying to think. Oh, there is one song that I know by heart. Hold on.
Let's go. Okay. Hey, Yvonne, glad to see you still here. It must be late. You must be in bed out there in Scotland. One of my international. That's pretty good. 1 out of 5. I see. I have 5 viewers, and 20% of them are outside the United States. How about that? We have international ratings. I'm impressed. I'm getting a little itchy.
Okay.
Okay, what you got for us?
Let's see. I have not played this in literal weeks, so I don't know.
Go right ahead. We'll go right ahead.
Yeah, I'm losing it. That's the theme from Ken Burns' documentary on the Civil War. It's called Ashokan Farewell, but this is not quite properly tuned, so it's not coming out super great.
That's all right. Thank you for sharing. You've got a lot of guts, young lady. That's good. That's good. One of the I'm trying to get some of the musicians in the family to, especially my cousin who moved from Paradise to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh,
He's very gifted guitar player, and he actually plays in some bands that that go on cruise ships and
wow.
et cetera. But I'd love for Scotty to come back on and play for us. Maybe you can see some of that. But thank you so much. Well, I'm going up to about 2 hours right now. So it's usually about this time. I'm thinking, was anybody else would like to come on and say their piece before we wrap this show up today? I'll drop the link one more time. We'll go through this. I am so awesome. It's so cool that you came on here.
I think I need to get going because I want to do some stuff before I have to get ready for bed. But this was fun.
Well, thank you so much again, and tune in anytime. And peace. Love to see you, young lady.
Bye.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Well, how about that? I got some FaceTime with my half brother and his daughter, and saw a couple of his other daughters, which I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. That was a little bit different show this week so far. I hope everyone, we don't have that many viewers, but would anyone else like to come on and say hello? Goodbye. I got a little breeze coming through that's messing with my green screen. Well, it's all right though. We know it's all smoke and mirrors. Danny Wells, I'm seeing some of the responses, and I can't take it personally because somebody who's angry about this video. But it turns out it's Mary Dietz, and I imagine I'm going to assume she pushed the wrong button because I'm not sure what to be angry about. Anybody else would like to come on? Otherwise, I think we'll pretty much ready to call the show. I'll plan on coming back tomorrow. I haven't been called out of town. I should be around tomorrow at 4. Here we go. Thank you, Danny Wells. Thank you. I was getting uncomfortable. You're still on the road.
Yeah, I was just leaving Huntington Beach when you started, and I'm just getting into Indio now, still on the freeway, just about to get off. Dude, I'm so happy for you.
No, it's kind of cool, huh?
Not kind of cool. That was freaking awesome.
Ah. Yeah, I appreciate your story too.
Uncle Smitty. How about that?
I haven't heard that before. And I don't know if they know me as Smitty, but they'll learn. They'll learn. Hi, Cindy. Good to see you.
Yeah, Uncle Smitty, Uncle Patrick, whatever. And that was some great conversation you had with your brother. To get some time in and talk about stuff. Seems like an interesting character.
No, he does. He definitely does. And I liked it a lot, and I loved your input into it. And yeah, I use the word cousin a lot. I use aunt and uncle a lot. But niece.
Well, that's.
I never really ever got to use niece before. Here's my niece. It's a new word. That's what I'm saying. It's a new word for me.
I know that feeling because once I finally met my half sister, I had a niece. I had a blood relative niece, and it just kind of. I love the nieces that I have in this family. Don't get me wrong; they're amazing, amazing women. But to know and find out that hey, I've got a niece of my own, so I know that feeling you have, and I'm really happy for you. That was pretty cool.
That was Susie. She didn't know I was still on the show, but I will call Susie back. No, that was kind of neat. What you missed, Cindy, was it was kind of another Janice show today. She didn't come on, but her son Robert was on for a long time. We had some good, and he showed us his other 3 daughters, beautiful young ladies. And Amelia came back on again today and was on for most of the show. So, yeah, I'll you know what? I'll take that. I'll take a. I don't know what to say. Yeah, I don't even know how I'd categorize my little branch of the family, but something I'm not used to, and it's kind of cool. And I appreciate that, Danny Wells. I use the word brother a lot, but not in a strict sense.
Literally, or you have a brother, and regardless if you disagree or you agree on whatever, don't let that take too much effect. I mean, you got a brother, get to know the guy, and look at those beautiful daughters he's got.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
That's a whole other finger of family members for not only you, but for everybody in this family too. I'm sure everybody would love to know more about them and meet them. I know I would.
Knowing what I felt myself
So yeah,
doing.
that was
Go ahead.
That was good stuff. Very, very entertaining for my drive back to Indio. And I'm actually getting off the freeway right now, so it's perfect timing.
Okay, I'm just quickly. I felt myself. I'm being. I want to be very protective, and it's like an instinct that is kind of interesting to me. But, oh yeah, I don't want nobody messing with that girl.
Right.
I'm not. That
right.
ain't gonna. That's not gonna fucking happen, dude.
I've talked to my little niece. She's like 14. Several times on Facebook here and there. I've met her, spent some time with her back east, but I'll decapitate a motherfucker.
No. No, I even some of the comments I'm saying, do not fuck with this girl. I'm sorry. I'm going to learn to use a little bit, but do not mess with this sweet young girl because you're going to have to go through me.
Right. I am a stepping stone to anything bad that you think that you're going to do to this girl. Right. I totally agree with that feeling. I know that feeling. And it's weird how you have that feeling with other people, but when you got somebody that's a part of you, you know what I mean?
No, it was definitely a new feeling that I haven't really experienced before. But I feel like I'm super protective, and I hope, and I would do anything for those girls. And maybe I'll get to. Maybe I'll get to.
Yeah, absolutely. No reason that you shouldn't make an effort to make those things happen. That is what I'm saying. Don't let the little bullshit get in the way.
No, I don't want to.
And I think this family that the Shaw Dietz family, they're good about that too. Even though some disagree at things, they still get along. They still love each other, and they would go to bat for any one of them, regardless.
No, some of the biggest hearts I know are in this family. In fact, most of them are. Big hearts.
You're right. Huge hearts, and that's taught me a lot over my life, because I've spent most of my life with Maggie and with this family. Even though I was brought up by two of the most loving people, I learned more regarding love in other different ways as well, because I never had brothers and sisters. I was never close to my sister. All of my cousins lived in Ohio. I lived in California. I didn't really know anybody. So, yeah. It's all cool. It's all good. Embrace it.
No, I am. I see. It's been kind of a thrill for me, and just just doing the show is like, I've talked to other people about this. When I started doing it, I said one thing I do know is things will happen that I can't predict, and
absolutely. And you didn't see this one coming.
No, I didn't, and it happened. Here's another ginger, by the way.
Yeah.
We're gingers.
What up?
Hey.
I got my audio's cutting out. I'm gonna jump.
Hey, thanks a lot, Danny.
I'm still listening.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'm so happy for you. I really am. I'm so happy for you.
Oh, it's
be proud.
No, I'm proud. What's up, Mr. Plymester? Did you get off work today?
Yeah, I got off a couple hours ago, and then my girlfriend was the one that reminded me. She's like, "Hey, isn't your family thing going on?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's only at 4." I was like, "Maybe he's still on."
No, we usually been going a little over 2 hours. It's getting about towards the end of the show, but what you got to say when you're your popping shirt there? I like that. I like the color in that shirt on the camera.
Star Wars.
Those colors are great. Yeah.
So what did I miss? It sounds like you're being. Did you meet somebody?
Well, do you know I have a brother?
You have a brother? I did not know that. No.
I didn't know that till about 20 years ago.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. No, I have a brother. He's older than I am. And he was on the show today and he has, yesterday, one of his daughters was on, and he has 4 daughters, and today he came on. He lives in Georgia. He came on with and showed his 3 daughters and his other daughter who's going to school in North Dakota. She came on, so it was kind of a my branch family show. I can't label them Shaws or Smiths or Bowles it's hard to. My mom, a Janus family. I guess I should say a Janus family. Kind of centric today, which is okay. I'll take that. I'll take that for once in a while. I'll take that. I think I don't know if you saw it yesterday, but my niece, I have a niece. She very intelligent young lady. She's into philosophy. She's 22. Yesterday was her birthday. She was 22 years old, and brave enough to come on and this big scary family. She got right in and talked, and I was very proud of her. Very proud of her. So that was my big thing. That's what you missed.
Oh man, see, I need to start getting on these daily, especially because like I'm always off around the time that these start. It's always fun, even if I'm not on here. Like it's always interesting watching. I know every time I go to my mom's, she's got it on her phone. Even if she's not like watching it, she's listening to it. So,
well, that's kind of cool. We usually get 7-8 people watching at a time. When Khaki came on, we had over 20 at one point, which is kind of a little spooky, but that was okay. Cindy, they're everyone's family. That's right. In fact, you're related by blood to them, Chris. You're blood related to the people on there. I'm
probably blood related to like a good 1,000 people that I've never met in my lifetime, just from my mom's side of the family.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we're finding them all the time.
Yeah. My mom keeps telling me like that she like to do that whole I don't know if it's the Ancestry or the 23andMe or whatever. Like that's how everybody's finding out about all these extra relatives and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think there's much more I'm gonna find out, but it'd be kind of cool to see how far it goes back.
Did you ever do a 23andMe?
No, I didn't, but I want to. I think I'm gonna try to do that because that'd be kind of cool to see.
No, it is. I had a couple of surprises about it, but my heritage especially, I found out that I'm basically Irish and English, pretty much 100%. Which we were always told there was Indian.
I remember hearing that when I was younger too, and I'm like, what? No, and it's like, yeah, it is. And I'm like, okay.
Well, you might have from your dad's side. Yeah, I don't know. Do you know much about his family?
No, the only thing I know is German, just because of our last name. But beyond that, I mean, my dad's family. So like, I've never seen a picture of my dad as a kid, so I'm very convinced that he never was a kid. Okay, I saw one picture of him like on the high school wrestling team or something, but even then, I'm just like, it was an old black and white photo, and he was one in like a crowd of like 20 or 30. So, I'm going with the idea that he was never a child.
Yep, I can't dispute you, but just from patterns in history, he was, I'm guessing.
Of course, obviously he was, yeah, but I feel like my dad was like born with a paintbrush and a ladder.
No, and I agree, Cindy. I mean, Cindy and Susie are talking about that we're German and French, and I know we had a Grandma Thumb, if I'm not mistaken, who spoke German. So I don't get it why it didn't show up on the DNA test.
Yeah, my mom was telling me something about French and all that, and she was like, yeah, it dates back to like the royal family. I'm like, no way. I'm very interested to see. Like now it's like the more I've thought about it, I've like been curious to see kind of what everything I am. Because I've been told I'm like 20 different well, not 20, like a handful of stuff.
Interesting, but also in Europe there was they intermingled a lot in Europe for hundreds thousands of years. So even somebody, there's a lot of intermingling. So German, like French and English were very close for hundreds of years. So yeah, my results came back, and I was definitely centered around the United Kingdom, English and Irish. like all of it. But
Yeah,
we're royal pains in the ass, Cindy. That's what we are. We're royal
I would
pains in
say
the ass.
so. And then my mom said something like we're related to like Susan B. Anthony or something like that. No, Betsy Ross. That one.
I've heard that. I think Jennifer and Aunt Celeste. I don't know if you know how much about her. I think they did some digging into the family tree at some point. And actually, that would be a great topic for Jennifer to come on and talk about some of the things they found out. But
that would be awesome.
But the genetics kind of really like can erase a lot of family folklore for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know my father was English and Irish. I know that from what I was told, by the way, that he was English. So I understand that. But yeah, I thought for sure we would have German and French and Indian. And no. And Susie says it's Susan B. Anthony.
Susan B. Anthony, I thought. Okay, that sounds about right. I knew it was one of the two. And my mom was telling me about it. I'm like, I was like, either way, that's still kind of cool. So I think my mom was, but yeah, it's always interesting to hear the different stories about, like who we're related to, and then just everybody kind of coming out like with those 23andMe's and stuff. It's a 23andMe one that'll tell you like other people that have taken it that are like closely related, right?
It is, and this is what my question is. There's a number of different companies. I know 23andMe is one. There's another one I can't think of the name of that you see advertisements, and I'm wondering if they use cross databases. Like if we'd find more people if we went to another genealogy service. I'm curious.
Yeah.
I might try that because I don't know. I should look into that a little bit, and you never know who might pop up. But a few people have popped up in our family. I think that were unknowns.
Yeah, I know my mom found like she said that I don't know if it was like a nephew or something and all this stuff, and she was like, I know her and Carol had like a big conversation about it, and like just different family members that have like popped up, and I'm like, holy shit, like it's larger than you really think. It's like my mom my mom and your mom both being one of 10, and like nine out of the 10 are still going, and everybody's got grandkids, great grandkids and stuff. So it's like,
no, one thing we definitely have are vigorous genes. Especially the aunts. They're all up there, and no, that's one thing that's I think that's a good thing. And Cindy mentioned ancestry.com, and and that's the other place. Maybe I think it's $100, something like that, to do it. But then you got to prepare for the endless emails trying you to upgrade and I just ignore them. But every once in a while, I'll say there's been a new match or something like that, and I'll look into it. And I've actually trying to find more about my father's side, which I don't know a lot about. I've actually tried to contact some people, and I've never gotten any response. So I don't know. Don't know a whole lot about that one. I just know on my mom's side, I just got a wonderful large group of a lot of strong women, and a lot of men that looked over us. But the women were super strong and maternal for sure. All my aunts were very good to me.
Strong women. I feel like all the men are either very handy and very artistic. So definitely an interesting bunch, especially when we all get together.
Well, it is, and I wish we did more. I wish we did more.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe once this whole thing's over and everybody can actually travel again, maybe that'd be one of the goals.
Well, for sure. I need to get down to Chico more often myself to see my mom. But this is kind of a little bit of a substitute. She used to say, I never see you. Well, now she sees me every day at 4:00 for 2 hours. So
yeah, exactly. It's like, hey, you want to see me, you know where I'm going to be.
Yeah. So actually, this is kind of work. You know what? This has worked out so well. Actually, I've had some drama behind the scenes that I can't really even talk about, which is
oh my god.
Oh, drama with only 6 or 7 people watching me. I've gotten private messages saying this and this, and like, I'm glad my show's not like popular. I'd spend all my day fixing emails, but anyway.
Oh yeah, that sounds like fun. No, I think that what's really cool about this is like getting different family members that come on that, you know, we don't all like talk to each other on a regular basis, and just hearing the different stories and having the back and forth and the, you know, the personalities, I guess you'd say, like all coming together.
So you think this was a good thing to do? You're okay with it? Do I get your approval?
Yeah, totally. I love it.
Cool.
It's cool. It's cool because this, you know, it's like you said, like it's a good substitute because I mean, not all of us. I mean, aside from this, what the last time I saw you was what last year for Shelly's wedding. So, and before that, I don't even know.
Hey, Damien. Hey, are you on a PC right now?
Who, me? Yeah.
Okay, well, I might have a little project for you. One of these days I'm going to have to be out of town, but you've done this is up your alley with the technology and I would love for you to host something like this. And by the way, all the you know, I did create the Isabel Shaw channel. I don't feel comfortable just posting in comments the different passwords and everything, but if anybody definitely wants to play this role or have access to that web page to add to it or Facebook page, get in contact with me, and I would love to share some of this, some of the load here or some of what's going on. But maybe you might think about, because everyone will have a different creative ideas. Maybe you can think of something to come on and burn some of the time.
That would be cool. I would totally be down to do that.
I'll keep you in mind then. Damien, good to see you. I guess you had a doctor's appointment, so you missed a show with my brother Robert, and he showed his 3 daughters in Georgia, and his 4th daughter came on from North Dakota. So it was kind of a cool, interesting show. Goodbye, Cindy. I see you got to go. I got to go too. This has been 2 hours and 21 minutes.
Jeez.
Susie, if you're out there listening, I'm going to call you back. I always love to hear you talk to you. But other than that, if anyone, I'll drop the link one more time real quick here. I can do this. Oh, I can do this. Boom, boom. There it is. Come on up and say your piece. Otherwise, I'm going to sign off and plan on coming back tomorrow at 4 because my life is so fulfilled that I have, you know what I'm saying, right?
I just love how the green on your hat is blending in with the background from your green screen and stuff.
It's actually a little distracting, but I think it's kind of bitching.
That was the funny thing, was one of the first times I ever used a green background in a video. I didn't realize that this like little like circle of green in the shirt I was wearing like captured on it, and yeah.
Trick, my little trick. Ta-da, ta-da! Here I am. Took my hat off. You're rocking the bangs, dude. You're rocking the bangs.
I've been growing my hair out for a while. I'm gonna keep it going. I'm not shaving the beard until this whole quarantine thing is over. I already told my girlfriend to be prepared.
That's okay. I'm waiting to get a haircut myself. I might do my own little haircut too. Maybe I'll do that live.
That would get some views.
I doubt. If I thought it would, I would, but I don't think it will. So,
I don't know. Everybody sharing, if you get enough people to share it, I think it would probably get some.
Actually, it's kind of, I've had my head. I've never done it myself, but I've had the old butch cut before. It's actually kind of nice, Other than the way you look goofy, but once you're my age, you're going. There's not a lot you can do. So
yeah.
So, anyways, all righty, boss. Well, looks like no one else wants to come on and run the gauntlet with us.
No.
And I appreciate everybody watching. I appreciate anybody who wants to come on. But I'm gonna wrap this bad boy up and go feed my animals.
Well, until next time.
Till next time. Thank you, everybody. Peace. I'll be back on tomorrow at 4. I hope with any good luck. Take care. Good night.